In a world where makeup rules are followed almost religiously, she's here to find out. Should you stick to this technique and never ever break the rules, or should we try a new way? To quote Captain Barbossa, you see, they're more of what you call guidelines than actual rules. So hold on to your makeup brushes, kids, because today we are testing out whether concealer should be put on before your foundation or should it be applied after. I mean, it's kind of like the what happened first, the chicken or the egg, but with makeup. What is up, my fam bam? Ashley Elizabeth here with AHM Artistry. Hope you enjoyed that little weirdo intro that I got a wild hair and wanted to do. As you can tell from that, what we are doing today is we are going to be versing techniques and kind of like a makeup rule, but kind of not. Like, I know some people do it one way, some people do it other. I'm going to test it out today and see, at least for my face, what's the better technique to do. See, to me, makeup's more about, you know, having fun, playing around and seeing what works best for you rather than set by set rules, except when it comes to sanitation. Now, I have always put my foundation on first and concealer on top. That's the way I've always done it. That's the way I was taught. And this is all for experimentation purposes. It doesn't mean that you're doing one way the wrong way or the right way. This is just to see and to test like scientific evidence of which works better one way or another. However, it does depend on product and your skin type. So keep that in mind while watching this. But in a day and age where like we all, not all of us, but most of us or a lot of us, some of us, just slather our whole face in concealer that it's practically foundation. I want to see if it's just better to put the concealer on first and then just do a little bit of foundation, because maybe all of this is just a little too heavy, and I'm going to test it out. So I'll do one on one side of my face and I will do one on the other, and we will see how it looks side by side. Now, this isn't for like little spot treatments here or there. This is like the full-on Instagram concealer type of technique that I'm testing. There is this theory that if you put on concealer first and your foundation, that it'll move around the concealer too much and not work out. And if you're familiar with my channel, you know that I like to versus stuff. I have done one other video where I versus technique style with false eyelashes, and I tested, is it better to put your mascara on before false lashes or after? And guess what? I actually changed the way that I applied my eyelashes, all based off of that experience. So sometimes it's fun to break out of our regular makeup routines, regular norms, and find out, is there a better way? And today we're gonna do that. So if that all sounds good and dandy to you, then you know what to do. Sit back, hang tight, and keep on watching. Alright, so I already primed and prepped my skin per usual. I used the Too Faced Hangover RX primer, and I did a little bit of the Physicians Formula Spotlight Primer today, just on the high points of my cheeks, anywhere that I want a little extra glow. You know what? Let me take this opportunity to introduce you guys to a very special friend. Ooh, right here, say hello to my little friend. Right there, decided to join us, and what perfect timing for a concealer type of video. Boop, boop. Oh man, right smack dab in the middle, and it's been 3 days and it's been exactly the same, no changing. Anyways, now that that's out of the way, let's slather my face in makeup. So I'm gonna be using today the Tarte Shape Tape, tried and true, most people's fave boo, and I'm gonna be using the Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. I'm gonna do the concealer first on this side. I'm gonna apply it the exact same way I would normally apply my concealer. And like I mentioned in the beginning, pretty much everywhere. Let's use this opportunity to see if that gets covered up before foundation, you know? Hard to do half your nose. Like, that would normally be how much I do the whole time, but we'll see. This is pretty much everywhere I would do it. I can already see why, like, obviously I've used the rule of doing foundation before concealer forever, and doing this, I can already tell why, because I want to, like, keep covering and keep covering, but I need to slow down. Because my eye makeup's already done, I'm just gonna take this little brush around this area so I don't mess that up. Wow. You can tell how bright this concealer is compared to like my real skin tone, but when it melts into the foundation, it doesn't seem that bright. Maybe honey girl used too much. I may be reconsidering how much I just use in general. This is gonna be a lot on the nose. Okay, now I'm gonna switch to a little bit of a bigger brush just to blend out a little bit more. Yeah, and so, that pretty much just covered my whole face. Yep, but usually it blends with my foundation and then it comes up with like my perfect skin match, so maybe the foundation on top of it might not make it look so, it will definitely help with the ghostliness. That's really crazy. Okay, so I'm going to do both sides at the same time now. Let me start by applying this just on this side as I normally would, and we'll see if it moves around the concealer on this side like the theory claims. But I'm sure it also depends on which foundation and concealers you're using too. Some probably are more loosey-goosey than others, obviously. Okay, for that, I'm gonna use my ginormous iconic London brush. For concealer, I would normally tap off a little bit of excess, so let's just tap that real quick, only fair. The concealer is not sticking to my nose, I'll tell you that much right now. Okay, now for some foundation. Let's pop that on the same exact way. So, the theory is that people are worried that you're gonna shift the concealer around too much. So I'm gonna kind of tap this all around instead of swiping too much. So essentially that side would be done and ready for powder. Okay, I'm gonna conceal this other side. You can already tell, super full coverage over here. Let me go ahead and put concealer on this side now. This guy needs a little more coverage still. Want to like do less on the other side. It's hard when you're not putting it on the same time. Definitely feel like I don't need as much because I don't see all the red and everything over there. Ah, nerve-wracking. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look before I powder it up and bronze it up. I'm gonna look really ghostly until I get to the bronzer portion, so bear with me. Let's zoom in and you can see the side by side before all that extra stuff is done. Hopefully you can tell on camera the differences. Overall, like say from like not super up close like you guys are right now, you probably wouldn't notice a difference. So that theory is good. There's not that much difference between the two sides because, you know, doesn't mean you're doing it one way, right way, and one way the wrong way. It's just whatever works for you, boo. So for me and what I'm seeing, the first thing that I can see is the side that I did concealer first, it's so bright, like just under that part where I have a crease in my skin. This side though, surprisingly, even though this was like heavier concealer probably, this is more obvious. Doesn't look as good in my opinion, but down here, the coverage is so much better than right here. You can see all my acne scars and discoloration. So maybe I didn't use as much concealer on that side. I probably focused more on foundation, obviously, because the whole point of doing concealer after is hopefully you won't need as much concealer because you've already done your foundation. So that's interesting. I actually really like, this is one of the first times that I'm like, oh, I can't see all my discoloration on my cheeks, which usually I really, really do. So this might be one of those weird tricky things where maybe it'd be good to conceal a couple areas, put your foundation on, and then conceal some more, because my under eyes I like better on this side right now. Now also, this guy was pretty hard to cover up. It's kind of like the concealer doesn't want to stick to my skin when it's just primer. Like it sticks better on foundation, and you'll see right by my nose, it's really cakey. Like really crusty, really cakey. It's already rubbing off on my nose right over here. And I put foundation over there too. It's just not wanting to stick. Where this side, it's totally like normal, fine, how it would totally look. The lips are pretty similar except the smile lines. I'm already getting a crease in my smile line right there, where this side, it seems fine. So I guess for me, what I'm seeing right now is I'm liking this part of my face, just this section right here being concealed first, and then everything else normal. So let me go ahead and do my contour, blush, everything, some lippies, and then we will see if it looks any different once products are applied on top. Be back in a Jiffy Jube. I don't know what a Jiffy Jube is, but we'll be back in that time. Okay, here's everything all complete. If you ever want to know what else is on my face, eyes, lips, cheeks, everything, it's always down in the description box if I'm not going over it, so just know that. Here's the side comparison. In the comments below, let me know if there is one side that looks better than the other in your opinion. For me, my opinion didn't really change after applying everything. I mean, obviously it seems like I have more coverage on this side because the bronzer kind of diffuses all the discoloration and stuff, and I'm still seeing a harder line right there in that side. Also, when I look up close in my regular mirror, I seem really dry and flaky. down in this area. Like I said, I think it's almost like the concealers are made to stick to foundation, not necessarily your skin, not necessarily primer. So it just seems like it's doing a better job sticking to the foundation on this side, and that's why it doesn't look as dry. This area doesn't look gross. Everything is the same as before I applied the bronzer and blush and everything. I think I'm gonna still like personally be testing this out in my own life. Whatever, this is my own life, but you know, in the day-to-day, I will be testing this technique out. All right, my fam bam, that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you like it when I verse out products versus techniques. If there is any technique out there that you were just like, I don't know what goes first, this or that, what should I do, this, comment that down below, and I will be doing a video on it because I want to do more of these. I think they're fun. This was a super fun video for me to film and just like try. I love breaking out of the box, trying new things, and figuring out the when, the why, the where, the what, the how. And that is what we're doing right here. If you are new to this channel, this is your first time stumbling upon my face, well, you're gonna wanna go down, hit that little red subscribe button right down there. Go ahead and do it. I post at least 3 times a week, and we would love to have you a part of our little fam bam we have here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope every single one of you have a great, freaking awesome, wonderful, happy day.